All right, we got this fire studio in New York City. We got the view. You see the new music. We're networking. Wifey and I are getting fly. We're doing all the fun stuff. We're still traveling. We got it all figured out, right? Not quite. All right, I think it would be a miss to not share this part of my journey. Yes, I am making some of the best music I've ever made. Yes, my content, you see it, I think it looks amazing. I think a lot of the storytelling, the world building, I have the clients. There's so many things that are working, but there's also a lot of things that aren't working. This whole past year has been such a transition. Like when we first got here, I thought I was gonna get everything set up and hit the ground running. And instead I hit a wall. And that wall was essentially a wall of limiting beliefs and things that I was still working through to really allow myself to blossom into the artist that I want to be. And I would also be remiss if I didn't say I still struggle with that today. Even this week, I had to be reminded of where some of these limiting beliefs are still showing up, where they're holding me back or holding us back from the growth that I'm trying to achieve. So I figured, let me just let you in a little bit on how things are looking today and what it took to actually get there and what I'm still working on so that we can keep working towards becoming the artist that we always dreamt of being. This is a brand called Particle Goods. They're actually from the Northwest up in Seattle. But I didn't discover them until we got to New York, but this shit smells incredible. It's a gloomy ass day today in New York, so I'm definitely staying inside. All right, let's start here. When we first got here, you would think I finally quit this job. I'm in one of the greatest cities in the world. I'm gonna run through a wall and go create a fuck ton of stuff. But that's not actually what happened. Instead, I hit a bit of a wall. And the reason that wall happened was because there were so many questions that I didn't have answers to yet. Like leaving this 9 to 5. The only time I've been allowed to make music or create has been in the evening after work. So that, like for the first time, is no longer the case. So when do I actually make music? Is the evening still my most creative time, or am I just accustomed to that because I had to do that? I'm starting my creative entrepreneurial journey. I have clients kind of everywhere, and the people that I'm doing creative direction and branding for, that was new. I've never had that before. I built that, I created that. So figuring out, okay, how am I gonna grow this entrepreneurial muscle there's so many questions around that. I didn't have a process, I didn't have anything. I literally just left my day job to do this. I didn't have the answers to that yet. My wife was rebranding her business and going into a completely different space, pivoting mid-move. So like we were also rebranding that business, and like, what does that look like? We don't even know where the fuck the grocery shop. Like we just got here, yo. There's so many restaurants. You know, we're foodies, so we're trying to find the places to go eat. Where do we spend our time? Where do we go shopping? Everything from the bare necessities to the creativity and the job, like didn't have any answers yet. I had to figure it out. So we went through a period of trial and error and just experimenting and figuring out what felt good. And when we finally kind of got our footing in the city, I would say that's when things started to feel a little more routine, a little more structured. But let me tell you, that was maybe the hardest time that I've had in a long time. Being a creative and having so many unknowns around me, like I really struggled with that. Now that we're finally here, what I had to get clear on was my positioning, like the positioning of my brand. What is my brand's identity? And how do I show it to the world? How do I speak to specific people and do it in a way that gives the message that I want to give, the taste level, all the things, right? I really had to get so clear. So I went back to the drawing board and started mapping out literally like how I would build a business or a brand with a client. I did it for myself, and I went through the structure. What is my positioning? What is my visual brand identity? What does the world building look like? What are the products that I'm offering? And as an artist, I now feel really confident about how I want to show up, how I want to present. Like my music, I feel has really carved a lane in terms of like the sound, which is one of my favorite things to have received in the past few months has been, yo, you have a sound that I haven't heard. And that's really cool. That's really hard to do. Whether other people believe that or not, I believe that I'm carving a lane that is very distinct. And so I'm really proud about like directionally where I'm going with this. So I had to figure that out first, right? I can do a whole video, a free game, just on the idea of brand positioning and really like carving a lane for yourself and like speaking to the right people. Because at the end of the day, who I'm speaking to, I'm reaching them with what it is I'm putting out. So I got clear on that. The other thing I struggled with was allowing myself permission to truly be in my creative flow at any time of the day. I felt like I had to work on my client stuff. Like today, for example, is a client day. So I will be working on clients. I'm, building out some world building and creative direction as we get ready to launch their brands. And my team will be designing their brands. So I'll be in here sort of cooking up and coming up with ideas for that, what that looks like. But before I had that process really nailed, I was like really struggling to find when do I actually create? And I got to make the money. So how do I do this creative work that I love to do while also still making the music? Because the whole point of this was to make the music. So that is a battle, and it still is. I'm still working on that. The thing I really kind of unlocked, and now I just need to fucking remind myself this every single day. And I just reminded this week, I literally been having conversations with my wife about this. And it's been frustrating because I know this works, but I struggle to keep my brain locked into this idea. This is the unlock. And if you can tap into this to me is what works. It's the idea of staying in a state of play. What I mean by that is, it is my job as a creative to be inspired, to stay inspired. Therefore, I should be seeking inspiration. I should be going to the shows. I should be around other people doing really cool things that inspire me. I should be listening, watching, or absorbing the things that inspire me. New music, take it to the park and go sit and listen to it. Observe, and just be open to inspiration, always being around. It's actually non-negotiable. I have to stay inspired. It's also my job to create. And now I've been doing a good job of creating the world building, the storytelling. I just got this new song that just came out that I think the rollout's been so cool. I got really dope collab partnerships that I'm doing in the city with some really cool brands. And the music itself is really good. I have client work that I'm really pumped about that's all gonna launch here in the next few months, kind of back to back, that'll finally be shown to the world, which is really fun. I'm doing a lot of that creative work, but what I'm not forcing myself to create, which is the most important thing, is the music. I'm not creating music at the rate that I want to be creating it. It's because I'm not staying in the state of play when it comes to my music. So the reason why that's so important is because when I make the music and the music sounds great and it feels great, it fuels me, right, creatively. All of us know, when you do something, it just feels so fucking good to do that thing. And then once I do it, it bleeds into everything else. Everything else feels great because I'm jazzed on the new song I just did. The feelings of that transitions to the feelings I go into my client work with, so then I show up better for my clients. Then the feelings of that show up better for any other creative work I do. So it all starts from there. And as long as I am staying consistent and giving myself permission to prioritize that, especially as an entrepreneur now, having that not having a paycheck that's coming every 2 weeks plus stock options and all this other shit, right? It's different. So it's hard not to be I gotta do these other things. But the thing that I believe is the most important is staying in the state of play. I really had this unlock in the last few months, but more recently, I've really needed that reminder. So I say all this to say that even though I just did this new song, even though the content looks really dope and I'm doing these cool interviews about it and I'm doing I'm starting to look more like the part that I've been wanting to play, but I haven't been truly playing yet, which is actually really fucking cool to think about how much further this is gonna go when I allow myself the permission to stay in that mindset. Okay, so moral of the story, I'm still learning, I'm still growing. I'm still figuring out how to do this full-time artist thing. There's so much growth that I think is still ahead of me, which I'm excited about. And I'm leaning into it. I'm challenging myself in real time to step up to the plate and be the best version of myself that I want to be and the best artist that I possibly can be. And you're here with me on the journey. So thanks for being here. But the thing is, we're not even close to unlocking the level of efficiency and creativity. The craziest thought to me still is the fact that like we're not even fully playing yet. That's fucking crazy to me. Whether it's the music, whether it's the client work, the branding, the whatever, this has been some of the most fun and inspiring projects I've done to date. I hope you felt something. I'm gonna go work on some music and knock out this client work, but what you should do is go listen to the new song, Sorry Miss Jack, because it just came out and I think it's really fucking good. Peace.
Breathe, hold up, ain't really worth my energy. Hold up, I ain't wasting no time, I tell a bitch please.